You're listening to the smartest guys in marketing, the best show on the planet for client businesses to learn about traffic, funnels, sales, conversions, and marketing coolness. Chris and Taylor are the founders of Traffic and Funnels, a digital marketing consultancy helping you get paid clients from cold traffic daily. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Taylor.
What's going on, everybody? Chris Evans and Taylor Welch here with the Smartest Guys in Marketing podcast. We are excited to have you here today. Taylor, what is that, my man?
The smartest guys in marketing.
The smartest guys.
Excited to be here.
In podcasting.
In podcasting. Yes.
In marketing. They're like, man, these guys are like douchebags.
We got this.
What are we talking about today?
I asked you first. How many dollar bills does one have to spend to make $100,000 a month?
Dollar bills, y'all.
In the words of the great Jedi Master Yoda,
I was the same.
What you must spend? ? Yeah, I botched that. Yeah, we're talking about how much money you got to spend. Last week we talked about traffic. Talked about kind of the biggest mistakes you find people making with the traffic. But today we're talking about, even if you don't want to do $100,000 a month, that's not everybody's goal. Maybe you want to do $30,000 a month, or maybe your goal is just to get to a stable, clean, consistent $10,000 a month. What's the math? Okay. How do you break all of this apart? Because literally with our system, we're in complete control of pretty much how much revenue we do. And the only thing that will break that is if we run out of time. Yeah, we're going to kind of talk about that. So I think part of this depends on their model, right?
Yep.
And if you're a service provider doing services, then your model is a little bit different than if you're a coach or a consultant. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that later. But for now, let's just break down the math as like, say you're a coach or a consultant that sells a product or a package for a minimum of $3,000 or higher. Okay.
Cool.
So let's talk about that.
To what goal? What number?
$100,000 a month.
$100,000
and then people can reverse engineer backwards if they don't want to do $100,000 a month and they hate money, then they can just do $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
So for us, when we first got started, our first goal was to do $100,000 each month. Seemed like a lot of money. And we're the guys that came from freelancing, doing services, making $100,000 a year. And then we wanted to really build this business to do $100,000 a month. And so basically just want to break down what we figured out along the way.
Yeah, people thought we were crazy. Like $100,000 a month. Like, are you like out of your minds? So first, you gotta get your mindset there. It's totally possible. We do a lot more than that now. But let's get to the nitty gritty, and let's talk about if you're at a $5,000 price point.
Okay,
offering
$5,000
the math a little bit easier. All right, so here's what you need. You need about 1,000 opt-ins to your feeder funnel
per month.
Per month. Okay. And so we're talking about, we'll just call it a webinar, right? Because that's what we primarily are running. So 1,000 opt-ins. And obviously you want to get them for as low as you can, but let's just call it $10. Okay.
So that's lead. No, before you go on, let me just say this.
Bro, don't stop me because I'm on fire right now. I'm literally on fire.
If you want to do $10,000 a month, you just divide this by 10. Every number that Chris just says, like 1,000 leads divided by 10, you want 100 leads.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it in better perspective for people. $10,000 a month with 100 leads a month, or $100,000 a month with 1,000 leads a month.
Yeah.
All right. Continue. Sorry.
Cool. All right. So at that point, you want to get at least 50% of those leads, right? So we have 1,000 leads in a month. We want to get 500 of those to actually show up to our webinar. Okay. So your next metric is going to be 50%. Cool. You with me?
I'm with you. I got notes on this. You're just kind of making your own path right now, which I applaud you for.
Cool.
Keep going. I'm following you.
All right.
1,000 leads, 500 people attend.
Yeah. Real quick on the very front, you should shoot for a minimum of 20% conversion rate on your registration page.
Okay.
So that should be a minimum standard for you.
And if we're moving too fast, you guys check the show notes because we have a video breakdown of this for you.
Yeah. All right. So at that point, that should generate 50 calls for you.
So 1,000 leads, 500 people show up, and then out of those 550 people want to talk to you on the phone.
Yeah, or 100. No, it'd be 100.
Dude, you need to get your life together right now.
I need Jesus.
Is it 50 or 100?
It's 100.
Okay.
Yep. That should result in 100 calls.
Okay.
Opportunities.
Okay.
And so out of that, you should close 20%? You should close 20% of those people.
Yeah, I think 20% would be, yeah, you should.
Let's call it 20%.
If you follow our sales methodology, which we talked about a couple episodes ago, you'll close 20, maybe more.
So there's a disclaimer there. This is not guaranteed. Results are not typical. And now our attorney's happy. And so at that point, closing 20%, your program offering, your product offering, whatever it is you're selling at $5K, that's going to get you to your $100,000 a month mark, right?
Gotcha.
20 new clients at $5K, $100,000. You spend about $10,000 on ads. So you're taking $90,000 home.
Beautiful. If you want to do $10,000 a month, you have 100 leads, 50 of them show up, you get 5 conversations, close 2 of them.
Yep.
Boom, 2 at $5K a pop, you're doing $10,000 a month. So this is our system. We've broken this down before in that video that we're going to link people to. But there are 4 main parts. And this is why, I think it was last episode. It was a couple episodes ago or whatever. We were talking about the level of control you get when you have stuff broken down. Your
2
numbers.
episodes ago.
You were talking about traffic. And these are like the 4 pillars. So you got to have a great hook that gets people to register and gets people interested. That's that 20% you're talking about. So if 1,000 people see that hook and 20% of them register, how much is that? How many leads? Just testing your math abilities here, bro.
200.
It's 200. That was fast. Good job. 200. 200
I'm
leads.
like a math whiz.
And then you've got
basically a human calculator.
We call this second element the stack because it's a combination of email plus a webinar. So it's a webinar plus a few emails. So it's 2 mediums. It's a video plus text.
Yep.
And they stack on top of each other. We have a specific way that we do this. And you want to get 50% of these people involved in that. And then from the people who get the emails and show up on the webinar, a good percentage of those people, what is it, like 20% of people attending, or how many percent is that? Whatever. Like 100 out of 500.
Yes, 20%.
Yeah, 20% of people who are showed up on the webinar.
Who are showed up.
Drunk as a skunk. Now, they're on the webinar.
That's just Nashville talk right there.
20%.
They done showed up, boy.
They done showed up, drunk as a skunk. And they say, hey, this sounds pretty cool. I want to get more information. So we call this the screen. This is the application to get more info.
Yeah.
Right? And then out of those people, you close the people that are a good fit, and you don't close the people who aren't a good fit. Wow, wait a minute. This sounds too easy.
It's extremely hard.
There's a difference between simple and hard.
Yeah.
It's very simple, but there are nuances to this. The fastest way to go broke is just go experiment with all this and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to get the copyright in the ad, the webinar, all that kind of stuff. But there's a point that I want to go back to with the selling. It's all like leading. Every part of this is leading. And it's nonchalant marketing, nonchalant selling throughout the whole process, right? You're just laying out the potato chips to get the squirrel out of the tree, right? And they're being led by their desire to eat that scrumptious little potato chip.
Chris will do this all the time, guys. He'll make up these weird...
Well, it helps people understand what's going on.
Right? Squirrels don't eat potato chips. They eat nuts.
How do you know?
Because I've seen them.
Have you ever tried to feed a potato chip to a squirrel? No,
I haven't, personally.
I actually own about 25 squirrels. That's what people don't know about me.
You do not, bro.
Just kidding.
Unbelievable.
All right, so an acorn, okay? It's called an acorn.
Acorns.
Either how, you basically have to lead people from where they are to where you want them, and that's eating out of your hand.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're setting this up. Every part of the process is you leading them based on their desire. This is massive. So by the time they get to you on the phone call, they're like primed and they're ready to go to where you're just continuing that path. You're leading them. They already have the idea of, man, they need what you have. So how do I actually get from where I'm currently at to the result that I think this guy or gal can help me achieve?
Yeah.
And so you're leading them on the conversation to eventually pull out the credit card.
So you know what I think is a contradictory or like just against the grain remark in regards to our system and our traffic?
What?
The better someone's system is, the longer the average time to close will be.
Yeah.
So you got all these guys out there like click to webinar or click to sale in 48 hours and stuff like that. It means their system isn't very good. Like they're pretty good on the phone, but their marketing system doesn't really work well. And the reason I say that is because the better this system is, the more people are going to come from this funnel who wouldn't have closed, but because you send them the proof and you lead them like you're talking about, they're going to eventually say, screw it. Like, I just got to be a part of this.
Yeah.
We had a story like that. Her name is Cheryl Ann, and She was on our list for about 6 months, just got our emails, was in our system, in our funnels. And the interesting thing about our funnels is none of them are pushy. It's just like, hey, here's an example. Here's how you use this in your business. And she said, she was like, eventually I got one of the emails and I just forwarded it to my assistant with the F word. I was like, book a call. She's like, I just couldn't stand it. And people will tell us that all the time. They get to the point where they're like, they're not pissed at us, but they're just like, I'm either going to have to unsubscribe or I'm going to have to take action and move my life forward. Yeah. Because I can't keep seeing what's possible and not do anything about it. Yeah. And so therefore, our time to close, our average time to close is not 48 hours. It's 40 days. Because we've got some people who do come through and they are like instantly, they've been looking for it and they're like, this is what I need. And we also have a lot of people who are like, I want to get to know these guys. There's nothing wrong with that. We love that. It's the best,
Yeah, which is what we actually prefer. We prefer to be a longer close period because that means they already know us, they trust us. And so they're making the decision based on a lot of information, data that they've already digested, right?
Yeah.
And absolutely. So it's a lot easier conversation too when they get on the phone. Like how many times do people get on the phone and they close in 15 minutes? They're ready to go. It's just working out the details.
Yeah, most of those people, they've been through all of our stuff and they kind of know what they're getting and they know what they're getting themselves into,
Yeah. At that point, they have a lot of clarity. And that's another thing too, especially being involved with a lot of big launches and just working in paid traffic. The big part is making sure that people have clarity about what you're offering. And so when they've kind of been in your ecosystem for a while, they've seen you on Facebook and whatever platform you're on, they're getting your emails about what exactly it is you do and how you help people get results. They can start to place themselves in that scenario, in that situation. And so they have a lot of clarity for themselves about like, this is a great decision for me to make. Does that make sense?
That was very profound, Christopher.
Did you write that down?
I did. I put it in my journal.
So guys, this is sorry, not to interrupt you, but this is how you can actually engineer whatever revenue goal you have for your business.
Yeah.
And it's completely 100% doable. You just got to work the numbers out for yourself.
Yeah. So let's talk about models because every model is a little bit different. In fact, we're going to talk about models next time on the next episode. But specifically what we're going to talk about is how you can go from the whole like more money requires more time paradigm where you're essentially selling your time. Maybe you're a service provider. Maybe you just spend a lot of time one-on-one with people. Mm-hmm. How do you break that time for money and get into a leveraged income, a really good model that will scale with you? We always tell people there are 3 things that impact your business: your packaging, your modeling, and your marketing. Mm-hmm. Your packaging is like how everything's set up, which we have another episode planned down the road to talk to you about that. Your marketing is like what we're talking about, how to get leads. Your model is what you do for people in exchange for money. And if your model is not leveraged, then you'll cap out way before you get to $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that next week. And the title of the next episode is The Journey to a 7-Figure Consultant. How you actually start as a service provider or wherever you are, and over time tweak and make minor changes here and there. In our story, we're great guys to teach this because we've done it several times to get to that 7-figure level where you're not working around the clock, you're not burning out, you're enjoying your business, and you're pulling down $1 million plus a year doing it, which is a great spot to be.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because a lot of people come in and their model ends up breaking because they get too much business.
Yep, just happened last week. A guy named Eric got a testimony video from him, but he's like, I had to turn my marketing off because I got too many clients.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good problem, but you need to fix it.
Yep. So we'll talk through all that stuff in the next episode.
Cool. Leave us a review, guys, whether you like us or hate us, or if you just want to see more of me, let us know as well on iTunes. And we have a gift for you as well, www.trafficandfunnels.com/gift. It's a consulting bundle that we put together with a whole bunch of training and videos. It's all free because we're awesome.
Because we love you.
We love you the most.
More than anybody else. More than any of these other scammers out there.
Oh my gosh. All right, we'll see you guys for the next episode.
See ya.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.